Please give me one last chance. Let me prove my love for you. Just trust me for once. Kneeling on the ground in front of Ryan, who was staring blankly at the wall in front of her, refusing to eat, speak, or even think properly, Jungkook kept apologizing even if he was nowhere at fault. This has been his daily routine from the past few days. He refused to let her go, claiming that he could not let her go in such a condition. He said she must recover first. You know what I hate about me? Finally broke her silence and murmured in a hoarse voice. Jungkook scowled but confusedly shook his head, concerned about what she would say next. I am too stubborn, and I hate it. Her lips quivered again and tears streamed from her puffy eyes, signaling that she is adamant about leaving him. Jungkook gently held her hand and she did not push him away this time, wanting to feel his warmth one final time. Is it too hard to give me just one chance? I'm not even asking you to love me back, whispered in a broken tone with pained expressions in his eyes. You know, whenever you force me, I just thought one thing, that you'll never be able to break me. But guess what? Chuckled sadly, but more tears escaped. You went one step closer every day and eventually shattered me in the end. She broke the eye contact and looked to the front, biting her lips to control her sobs. Why can't you see my love, Ryan? Staring at her with his glistening eyes, feeling helpless. You never let me see it, Jeon. You always forced me. You bullied me in school, then forcefully brought me with you, married me against my will, forcefully kissed me, then scared me on the full moon night, forced me to bring Cora out. But when I started trusting you and loving you despite all this, you did this nasty stuff with me, released her hand from his hold and wiped away her tears. My life was already problematic because my father resented me for not being a son. And then you dragged me out of one horrible place and cast me into hell. Tell me, did you ever help me softly, respected my decisions, kissed me gently? No, right? Then how can you expect me to see your love? She let all of her feelings out that had been eating her up since the first day, and Jungkook just listened to her pain, being all silent and broken after hearing her painful words. I did not want to hurt you, softly whispered while looking down. But you did. Cries and complains like a wounded kid. I know, whispered while nodding. I'll completely change myself for you. I'm willing to do any. I ask you to let me go. Sniffs and breathes heavily as she feels suffocated from crying too much. Looks up at her. I can't let you go back to those banks. His soft tone suddenly changed into a strict one. I'm not going to them either. I just want to go away from everyone. I want to be alone. Looks to the side while having tiny hiccups from crying. Okay then. Stay here. I leave and won't come unless you want me to. Stood up from his place and turned around to walk. No. Jungkook looks back at her in a hope that she is stopping him from going away from her, but his hopes were crushed when she spoke. This place traumatizes me. I can't forget what happened to me here. I want to go away. Stood up and faced him. Jungkook went silent for a moment to gather courage for the decision he was about to take. Wine kept staring at his face blankly. After a while, He hesitantly nodded. He took a step forward, but Ryan took a step back in fear of what he might do to her. I won't do anything. I learned my lesson the hard way. Pressed his lips together to keep his tears at bay. He softly embraced her and Vine did not fight back. She closed her eyes, feeling the softness and warmth radiating from him. She cried, thinking that if things had been like this before, they would be walking together on a completely different path. Her tears soaked his shirt, but she controlled herself and did not hug him back. After a long time, he broke the hug and pecked her temples before turning away and quickly walking out of the room. Vine collapsed on the sofa and burst into tears. Why are you doing this if it hurts so much? Sniffs. There is no hope for us. She buried her face in her hands and sobbed helplessly. After 6 months, Vine's POV. Sitting on the terrace, looking out at the vast forest in front of me, I took a deep breath in, trying to dispel the sense of emptiness. During these 6 months, everything changed. He let me go. I shifted to another hidden palace in this beautiful but lonely forest, with lots of servants and maids. Zinoppa and Sabrina only visit me every now and then, but he never came. He's just keeping his promise. So it's a punishment for me. Then go back to him. I'm scared. What if he does not want me anymore? Do you know you are mentally unstable? Done with Vine's stubborn behavior. I am too toxic for him. He's better off without me. Sadly sighs again. Cora kept cursing Vine for a long while for her stupid behavior. When Vine came to this palace and her anger went down a little and she began to think rationally, she asked Sabrina what happens when a female wolf goes into hate, and Sabrina's words made Vine feel even worse. She explained to her that female wolves can lose their senses and can do anything, even force their mates to relieve their own pain, and if they don't mate, then they can possibly die. Now Vine knew what might have happened that night. Jungkook wasn't the one who forced her. It was the other way around. Leaving him was the dumbest shit I have ever done. Do you regret it? Every single day. Tears streamed from her eyes, which she wiped away with the back of her sleeves while sobbing like a baby. Have you ever seen an animal shadow on the terrace at midnight? Yes, I think this place is haunted, whispered. I have never seen anyone dumber than you. Frustrated. What did I do now? Confused. Scoffs. That's your lover boy. Your Jeon. He's always watching you from afar. Gasp. What? But an ungrateful brat like you can never make a right decision. And the incoherent word calling continued for a long time. Vine hurriedly stood up and began running towards the main entrance as if the cops were about to catch her. Where are we going at this hour? Asked, being a little scared as it was almost midnight. She stepped out of the main door. Her guards became alarmed and followed her while calling her, but she did not stop. She came to a halt when she noticed someone running towards her. She gasped, but soon smiled as she took a step forward towards the person. That person hugged Wine tightly, which she gladly returned. But Wine frowned when her hands felt wet, which were placed on Mom's back. Wine looked at her trembling hands soaked in with her horrified eyes, while still hugging her mother. Her mother gasped as her legs gave up. Wine held her mother quickly and placed her head on her lap while screaming on the top of her lungs. Save my mom, ordering the guards. Mom, don't worry, nothing will happen to you, crying while shaking her head from side to side. No, breathed hissed. I don't have much time. Wine, just listen to me. Touched Wine's face with trembling hands while trying not to close her eyes. Wine held her mom's hand and nodded obediently, trying to think what she should do now. Liam is back. All of this was planned by him and your father in order to bring Jones down. He, Jungkook's mother, and intentionally let Jungkook take you. Now they are back stronger and they will attack Jones. Gasped loudly. I heard their plan and tried to run, so they me in the back. Shut her eyes tightly due to pain and what he escaped. Wine gasped and cried as she was shocked and terrified at the same time. Wine's lap was drenching of her own mother. Her mom was taking her last breaths but managed to say, "Take care, baby. Jungkook loves you. Stay happy with him." Saying this, she took her final breath and closed her eyes for forever. Her hand dropped back as her soul left her body. Wine screamed and cried while tightly clutching her mother's body. I swear I did not leave them. I shone right. Now Wine got to know how Jungkook felt when his mother left him, and the sole reason was went back. Next morning, Wine conducted the funeral with the help of servants and maids. No one knew what happened here, because Wine forbade everyone from telling anyone. Cora, you said he comes to see me every night. Where is he now? Sobs. Does he even know what I am going through? After a moment of silence, Wine, what if Wang's already attacked Jones? Alert tone.